Well, thanks for coming back to the Old Deer Hunters channel today. We wanted to show you a couple of things, a couple of upgrades we've done to the Polaris 570 midsize. One is a installation of a silent rider muffler. A second one is under seat storage. The third thing is a receiver hitch rack that makes life easier and keeps the back of your Polaris a lot cleaner. So let's look at those things. Okay, the first thing we installed was a silent rider auxiliary muffler. Okay, this thing is real easy to install. It costs about $200, and you can install it in about 15 minutes. Okay, all you have to do is you take the spark arrestor out of the exhaust pipe, then you have to slide the muffler up onto the exhaust pipe, and it's really tight. On mine, it had paint on the exhaust pipe, so I had to sand it down. And as I was working it up on there, I just tapped it a little bit with the 2x4, and it kind of helped me get it up on there. It fits really tight, does not leak. Now, it only has 2 mounting bolts. Okay, now everything comes in the kit. The holes are already pre-drilled in the frame, so the muffler is made to fit with whatever vehicle you have. Okay, you put it on, you fire it up, and you found out, well, is it any better? Well, it's hard to say. I don't want to say, you should go out and buy one of these things because it's going to quiet down your Polaris, but it does seem to help a little bit in the cab when you're driving down the trail or driving down the road. It quietens things down. But you also have to remember that noise in the cabin comes from the front of the engine and not just the exhaust pipe. So you can't expect a lot of difference in the cabin, but it does help a little bit, I think. And I'd probably do it over again if I had it to do. So I can't say it's going to make a lot of difference in your sound level in your cab, but it helps a little. And here's our new storage compartment underneath the seat of the Polaris. And if this looks like a 5-gallon bucket, that's because it's a 5-gallon bucket. It just so happens that a 5-gallon bucket fits perfectly in between the rails underneath the seat of a Polaris. You've got a metal rail here, a metal rail here on the side, but the back is plastic. So what I did was I just took a little piece of angle aluminum and put it across the side rails to give this more support. And then after that, just drill 3 holes, use metal self-tapping screws and washers, to mount the bucket, and voila, you have 5 gallons of storage for all those things you need on the trail that you don't want to get wet, and you want to have with you all the time. So you can put some batteries, gloves, a small saw, toe straps, whatever you need. Keeps it there, it keeps it dry. The seat folds down right on top of it, so it keeps the dust and the debris out of it. You can see there's mud all over the inside of the Polaris, but it's not in the bucket. It works real well, and for $3.59, it's hard to beat. When I first tried to use the rack, the first thing I found out is that the mount that's attached to the rack that goes into the receiver is short, so I had to have an extension. And then the second thing I found out was that since that receiver is very low to the ground, I needed a riser. So I went to Harbor Freight and picked up this receiver extension, and it also raises it up 6 or 8 inches off the ground. So now there's plenty of clearance. It's still easy to get a deer or a hog or anything you want to carry in the rack. A lot easier than getting it into the back of the Polaris, but it does get it up off the ground. This is how I took care of the situation, and it seems to work really well. You'll notice that it's got blood on it, so we use it this summer already for a few hogs and coyotes, so it's really handy. It keeps the mess out of the back of your Polaris, and it's a lot easier on your back getting large animals loaded from the ground into this rack than it is into the back of the Polaris.